Awesome. So we made it to the end of the workshop. So thank you, everyone, for coming again. I've got some slides just to kind of recap a little bit on the workshop and some of the accomplishments we've achieved this week, and just general sort of background of what we're up to and why we're here. You know. So as you can probably tell, this is a record-breaking attendance. So last time we had about 60 people came to the workshop, and this year we've had over 150 delegates come to the workshop. So thank you. Maybe a big round of applause for everyone for coming along. I think one of the cool things about the Pocket community is just how global it is and how international it is. And while we come from different parts of the world and have different cultures and different interests and different languages even and all these things, you know, we all agree that we want to fly our satellites in space and we want to do cool stuff. And that's really important. And we have a list here of countries. Oh, go by the way. There we go. So we always have folk from North America, so thank you for our Americans coming. We have a lot of Romanians, obviously, Spanish, Dutch, Turkey, Hungary, Sweden, Luxembourg, Israel, UK, Italy, Brazil, Estonia, France, Czech Republic, Belgium, and more. So yeah, I'm sure there's even more, but that's the ones we could think of quickly. So thank you, everyone, for traveling from all around the world. Big round of applause for the travelers. So I also want to thank, this is like a thank you for everything. Thank you speech. So we have the exhibitors, obviously. So we have CRP, obviously, who we heard from earlier, Alba Orbital team, Department for International Trade, STFC, UKRI in Edinburgh, the ROM Space guys, who we had the talk from earlier as well, and DHV. So big thank you to all the exhibitors. So this was the showcase, obviously. Everybody's seen the showcase. So we decided to come up with a Perspex box this time. Last time we didn't have a box. Unfortunately, the box was quite small for the number of PocketQubes that showed up, so apologies to some folks trying to squeeze their satellites in the box. But we just want to show off what everybody's working on, and the idea with that is to sort of show and tell. So these satellites are so small that people can bring them with them, and even if they don't have a booth, they can come show their little satellite and really show off some cool stuff, and people can see what the state of the art is with new ideas in PocketQubes. So thank you everyone who contributed to that. We had I think 7 or 8 PocketQubes in there at one point, all sort of vying for some real estate. So thank you to everyone there. We'll just go next slide. So this is the history of the workshop. The first workshop I ever actually went to was in NASA Ames in 2014. I think I had the dubious distinction of being to every single Pocket workshop, pretty much, which is maybe embarrassing, I don't know. And this was the one we held in 2018 in Delft, and we had 60 people there, and we're 2.5 times bigger than that just now at Alba. So obviously, thank you to everyone who's come along. The workshop's grown every year since then. We had 40 people in Delft in 2017. We had 60 in 2018. We had 61 in Glasgow. 2019, and then COVID obviously put things online, so we've not been really able to meet as a community since then, unfortunately. So we had to run 2 online editions, which were good, but there's nothing really makes up for just meeting people and chatting to people and enjoying sort of chat over coffee. And yeah, 2022 we were back. Yeah, it's the biggest Pocket workshop in history, and just wanted to really, why are we doing this? We want to open up space. We want to democratize access to space, which is the mission of Alba. And we want to help each other to achieve our goals and share knowledge, because there's no point in somebody figuring something out and then other teams have to learn the same lesson, but no one tells them. So, certainly Alba, we try to be as helpful as we can by running these events and launching folks into space and other stuff. So, yeah, and make friends and have beers and have a good time, If you're over 18, have beers. Obviously, the under 18s, no beers. So yeah, the plan is to hold it annually. Obviously, this is the 6th edition, so we're going to run another edition probably late next year, early 2024. So I'm not sure December is the right time to hold it, but we had integrations in Glasgow for one of our customer lunches, so it kind of made sense to sort of do them at the same time, obviously, and have people in Glasgow anyway. So thank you everyone that came to Glasgow in December. That's really appreciated, and maybe we'll have it in the spring in the future, I think. We will send out some surveys and stuff to get your feedback on what we can do better. We want to grow the event and make it a sort of an annual event that people really want to come to, and we grow the community and get more people engaged, because the more people that do PocketQubes, it's easier for every builder. If there's only 5 people building PocketQubes, it's a total nightmare to get anything done, get licensing, get parts, whatever. But the bigger the community, the easier it is for this stuff to happen, the easier it is to get funding for projects and things like that. It's just more examples of successful PocketQubes. So big thank you to the sponsors. So we got Skyfox Labs, who sell GPS units. So Yaroslav unfortunately couldn't be here, but he generously put up quite a lot of sponsorship to help pay for things. So if you're looking for a GPS, then check out Skyfox Labs. Glasgow Convention Bureau. So they basically paid for last night's event, so that was all on them. So a really big, huge thank you to them. And Printec, they do PCBs, basically. So if you're looking for a PCB, they're really good for the sort of antenna stuff, the high-grade Rogers. So if you're looking for PCBs, obviously, then consider them. And obviously, Alba, we're just about to sponsor the drinks reception. So this is sort of provided by Alba. A big round of applause for all the sponsors as well. We couldn't do it without them. So yeah, without further ado, this is the end of the conference. Thank you all for coming along. We have drinks for the next few hours, basically in the foyer. So, and it's also cake, I believe. So it's drinks, cake, and coffee for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But anyway, Alba's sponsoring it. So that's what we're doing, right? So thank you, everyone who came along. We're going to do it again next year. And thank you for everyone who participated, the speakers, the presenters, all the delegates, everybody that made this happen, and the Alba team in particular, because without them, this wouldn't happen. So maybe a round of applause for the Alba team for all the hard work. Cool. So you have a few hours to network and stuff, but we're going to probably have to start moving people out of here. But feel free to just mosey about. But at some point, we'll have to start clearing here. But the foyer is going to be open for the next sort of 3 hours. The exhibit's now closed, so people who brought PocketQubes, if you can sort of take them away, we'll start breaking down in there as well. And the Alba team, if we can just kind of sort of catch up and come up with a game plan for just sort of tidying up the place, that'd be great. Go. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time.